Right folks, we're back again. Our last time doing this flight for now. We're going to now take off from Leh. We're going to follow these waypoints and try and master it, try and see if this goes a bit more smoother this time. So we're back in the lovely R&D Express livery with the beautiful backdrop of the mountains in the background, the Himalayan mountain range, and I believe that's the is it the Zanskar Valley? I'm just going to have a look at that just to make sure, because I love geography and I do like to get the right terminologies, the right names. But I do believe this is the this is the Indus Valley. I'm guessing it's named after the Indus River that flows below Leh, but this is the Indus Valley. Zunks is the river. I thought it was also the what's the word I'm looking for? I thought this was also the Zanks Valley as well. The Zansky Valley, but definitely this is the Indus Valley. But yeah, nice beautiful backdrop there. Stunning airport to land in, very challenging, high altitude. It's basically one of the highest airports in the world. Not the highest, but it's one of the highest airports with a regular scheduled service. And also it's got a Air Force base, so basically an Air Force base. It's right on the edge of their a key part of the as you guys might be aware of, the conflict or the standoff that's over the mountains there with India and Pakistan. The highest, it's not a battlefield, but it's the highest it's not an active war zone, but it's the highest deployed troops in the world up in the is it the Singshan Glacier, which is the longer. We'll go for a flight over there, because I went over this hill this is the highest motorable pass in the world, over into the Nurba Valley, which is a really cool part of the world. It's got sand dunes and it's just a different world over there, but it's also right on the border of where I guess this whole area is all, as you'd see on Google Maps, there's no defined region border as such, but it's definitely is right there with the border of Pakistan and India, geopolitically speaking. But no, we're here to admire the beautiful landscape and the views of this beautiful part of the world, and we are going to now do this departure. But yeah, going back to that, I think when I landed there in 2006, they just had their brand new Sukhoi Su-27s that operated out of here, and also too those big IL-76s, those big huge transport aircraft, were a frequent sight flying into the airport. But anyway, we'll get into this plane, we'll set up our waypoints. Unfortunately, we can't save them into the FMS, which is a shame, but we'll enter them manually, because we're going to follow a few of those waypoints out and come around and head on. We'll go do a return flight to Jaipur, so we'll get into the cockpit, we will get it all set up. Have I set my flight plan? Just making sure I have. Right, let's do this, folks. Our return leg back down to Jaipur. So we'll come back to, we'll go into, well, we're in this page here, we'll go to our fuel, set our fuel, which is going to be 6.9 tons. And I'm assuming too in real life planes will be tankering fuel into the airport, because I don't think there's definitely refueling for the fighter jets and whatnot, but 57. Which is basically the same as our flight coming up here. Put in our departure airport, which we'll just, we know it off by heart anyway. VILH can come into here. Route, put that into there. JP, isn't it? JP. And we just stick with the same flight number, AXV33. And then we're going to select our departure, which is one way in, one way out, so 25. And then we'll enter in our waypoints, so we will now go ahead and do that, which I think we have to enter it in through our legs page. Right, for our departure we want to so when we're following this tutorial, this thing that I found online, so we want to depart runway 25 LH 657 8 9 10 5 and then overfly the LA VOR and then head on to our next waypoint. So we will 657 8. So I'm just going to right 657. So we're going to start with 6 first, which is in 3 4 07.2 east is going to be 07729.7. Did I edit in? Perfect, cool, that's good. Then we're going to go back to 5 6 6 5 7 8 9 10, then back to 5. So waypoint 5 is in 3 4 8.5. East is 7.6. And then we're going to waypoint 7, so north 3 4 11.1 east 077 to 3.8 8 LH8 is in 3 4 11.6 east 077 17.0 9 LH9 is 3 4 12.4 east 077 13.5. The waypoint 10 is going to be N3411.5 east 07720.1, and then we fly back to waypoint 5 north 3408.5 east 07727.6 and VEH. Let's have a look at that, folks. Let's just make sure that is what we want. So takeoff won't come around in 1.1 to 6. Oh, that's not the one I was wanting to push. Step. Yeah, that would do. I think that's fine. It's not perfect, but that will be fine. We'll go back to the route page. From lay, we want to go to W39 to SP. I thought you could enter in our waypoints for here. W. That's really annoying. I might just have to enter in these manually. So TUNPU Tunpu. Yep, we can only do direct because it won't let me put in my airwaves in there, which is annoying. LELAX. Pig goes on next. And then SP. Oof. I'm guessing it's that one there. Now can we enter in a W35? Oh, now it can let us enter in a waypoint, which is odd. DPN. DPN A474 to Igolu. Perfect. Execute that. Just make sure that flight plan looks good. Alright, let's get going, eh? Let's get cracking. We'll get rid of all of this ground crew. Remove everything. Ten, 12, 10, 23. Alright, we will go with, we won't use that, we'll just go. Can I actually change the, it's going to go take off, full throttle, 52, flex temp. So we've checked that, it looks as good as it's going to be. Right, let's do this. Init. $36,000 feet is our cruising altitude. Wind condition 25678. +8, so that's going to be -48. Zero fuel 57. Reserves and cost to 39 and 2.6. Execute. That's going to be 56, wasn't it? 52. Flaps 5 for our takeoff. But I think it did say for the 737 it's going to be flaps 1 potentially. Right, I think we're going to use flaps. We use flaps. We'll just stick with flaps 5, eh? The takeoff trim is 5.3. 36. And we're taking from runway 25, so there's no like airports chart, so we're just going to do 25. Oh. 25. We'll change that to no, we're just going to do full throttle anyway, so don't worry about that. Actually, yeah, nah, that's okay. Right folks, I think that's us set up really. We will put on our cruise altitude up here, and we'll put in our landing altitude at Jaipur, which is, well, you'd think that's a high airport, but after coming from here, that's a very, very low altitude, so 12, make that 12, oh no, make that 1300 feet. So let's start up the engines, eh? Strobe beacon light can come on and we can get these engines powered up. And we'll just get everything, we'll just set that TARA. And as soon as this engine comes online, we'll just turn off our packs and leave it on APU. I guess we could lower our flaps too. I do believe it is only going to be flaps 1, so I'll just set it at flaps 1. Right, that's us done. Turn on our landing lights, turn on our runway turn-off lights, and this can now come into auto. That can go off. These two can go off, and let's get going, folks. Make sure all of our flight control surfaces are working, because this is certainly not a place where you want to be doing a go around or whatnot. And like we did on our last 737 takeoff we're going to be using our full length of runway here. What we might do is we might keep it on VNAV and just keep we'll just look after our speed manually. Because we want our departure out, I believe we want to be sort of just putting up our flaps as we go over Leh Airport on our return bit, so we want to be basically keeping that speed nice and slowish as we go up the valley as we're climbing out. And we'll turn on our landing lights, get our strobe lights on. That's where the hangars are for the Sukhoi Su-27s. I'm not too sure if they're still operating up here anymore, but that's where the Sukhois were housed. As you can see, they're on one of those rapid quick alert positions there. Right, let's throttle up. And I basically think we're just going to go full throttle. Using that nice little bit of down slope there to help us speed up, and we will hopefully just nicely climb on out.
Rotate.
Caution, terrain.
Right, we'll turn on our autopilot and just see how this goes, eh? And we'll just set our speed to just below 1, just before the flaps 1 up. Which I don't understand why it's not following the Oh, you have to push that button. Alright, we'll turn on our APU leads, I'm guessing. But yeah, nice little climb up the valley here. Or down the valley, up the valley, one of the two. That's the famous Indus River there. Flying up the Indus Valley here. So really, it's definitely rivals Queenstown for the most spectacular landing, doesn't it, or takeoff. That's such a beautiful view, isn't it? And that just says it all, doesn't it? Having that nice view over out the window there, if you're in the passenger seat, or if you're in the cockpit too. And that's where the two mighty rivers meet, the Zanskar and the Indus River, merging into one there as it carries on down the valley. Right, we'll start speeding up now. Right, we'll turn on our packs, eh? Landing lights can come on, these can come on. Oh, we can release the people, eh? Right, we just continue on our climb now. heading back round, and then we will climb on out and carry on with our flight plan. Yeah, there's something majorly wrong with those waypoints, isn't there? So we'll just disregard that, and then we'll just... maybe that looks alright. Waypoint 6 and onto waypoint 7. Right, we'll start speeding this plane up now. And we'll just go into heading mode, I think. Such impressive views up here, isn't there? I really want to go back to this place again. It's such an amazing place to visit. And I think we will now just slowly speed it up. Still a bit rusty. Look, I'm not a pilot or anything like that. I'm just guessing things, just trying to make sense of it all with my own interpretation, but that went reasonably well, I reckon. Will this turn around? Nope, I've got no idea what it's doing. Right, we're just gonna go. Right, we'll go into VNAV mode now, and we will go. I don't know what it's doing. Right, we'll just go direct to the next waypoint. Not quite how it went last time anyway, but oh well, it is what it is. Right folks, we are going to go outside the aircraft and we're going to enjoy the views as we head on out over the Himalayas, and we'll see you again very soon for our descent into Jaipur. Right, folks, we're going to do a RNAV approach into Jaipur, which I guess is the other end is the ILS runway. This one's the RNAV. We did take off from this way, so we'll do a RNAV into Jaipur, which hopefully the visibility will allow us to do that. So we'll set her up for an RNAV approach into Jaipur. So we're going to go into runway RNAV Y, runway 8, transition, we don't have one, it's going to be final, but we use this star here, and we'll execute that. Go into legs, and no discontinuities there, so that's great. And we'll set our visibility, which is going to be our minimum is going to be 1579, so push reset, get that to pop up, and then we'll scroll it to 1579. Like so, and we're going to set our, I'm just going to set our final approach fix, which is 33. And now this time we'll be able to set this as well. That seems reasonable. We'll stick with flaps auto brake 3. Flaps 30 for our landing. And enjoy this, looks very parched Indian. I was going to say the outback, but it's not the outback as such. I'm guessing this is all, what would you call the this part of India? Is this the Indian equivalent of the outback, or is it a bit more growth, a bit more farming going on? If this was the outback in Australia, this would just be nothing really. Definitely no farms like that. You can see these would have been like former riverbeds at one stage from the that flowed from the mighty Himalayas. And we've started our descent. Looks a bit murky there, but hopefully that will not give us too much difficulties. If not, we'll just have to go around and then circle here a bit, and then we'll just have to do the RLS, but hopefully this will give us a bit of hopefully there's a bit of visibility. Yeah, the terrain's really nice, isn't it? once again we definitely have to like come out here with a G8 aircraft and fly around these features here. That does look pretty impressive, doesn't it? We need to remember to come explore this part of India. Oh, turn on our fasten seatbelt sign, get the passengers ready for their landing, and we'll, like I say, it is a single pilot operation this, so I'll just turn on all of our landing lights just so we don't forget. Turn these to continuous for our landing, and that will be that really. I'm just enjoying the beautiful landscape around Jaipur, around Rajasthan. A bit more greenery here with the various farmlands and fields for producing food. And we really are dropping our speed, so we'll just set flaps for 1. Visibility's not that bad actually, so we'll be able to get visual on the runway before we hit our minimums, fingers crossed. And we'll set this to TA only so we don't pick up traffic too much. Select flaps 2. And we will follow the advice I learnt from a real world pilot on a Flight Simulator forum, so we'll set our final approach fix to our basically our minimums, which we'll round it down to 1500, and that will keep the I find the 737 can be a bit temperamental with the doing these VNAV approaches. Like sometimes when you scroll the speed, so generally speaking, when it gets 300 feet below the final approach fix, which is 3300, then you quickly scroll it up to the go around altitude. But some pilots, I was reading some of them do that, others just wind it down to the actual airport altitude, or the final approach to the minimums, either or, but we'll do it this way, eh? So we'll set it to basically below the minimums there and see how that works. I'm sure they set it to their altitude, the airport altitude, but we'll send it to 1500, eh? Push the B button to get our altimeter set. Coming on to final approach now into Jaipur. And we'll arm our speed brake, get that ready, and everything should just go smoothly for the next part of our flight. Yeah, a lot different philosophy with the 737 versus the A320. The A320 basically has like a pretend ILS, like these brick things, which you just click, activate, approach, and it just follows it all the way down to the ground, which I do like. Whereas this one is a bit more, in true 737 fashion, I find it's a bit more, a bit like driving a manual car really, a modern manual car. You still have a decent autopilot, but yeah, there is still a lot you do manually yourself, which I do actually like. What we'll do is don't worry, I've thought out there was a VOR that I could set it to just for reference, but that's okay. And we'll lower the landing gear and we'll get our plane configured for the final approach, which is 142. Some reason I do find the I'm not too sure it's just 737s in general, but I do find the PMG a bit temperamental with different things, like the VNAV disconnected there for some reason. I'm not too sure what's going on, but whether it's just my way of doing things, if that's affecting it. Yeah, like I was saying, might be human error on that part. Alright, we'll set our final approach speed, get this down. And we can just get visual on one of the landing lights there, so it's pretty good.
1,000.
Right, we'll disconnect our autopilot and our flight directors can come off, and we can now do this last bit ourselves, really.
Approaching minimums. Minimums. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And that was a really good landing, actually. Came in a bit too high there, but that landing went pretty well. We can turn on the APU now, get that fired up and ready, and we'll just put on the brakes a bit here, and we'll take this exit here. Landing lights can come off, strobes double push, and that is us back in Jaipur, and our next flight will be with the A320. We'll put that through the paces, see if that's any better in the mountains there, and after that we'll I think the wind's changed, hasn't it? But after that we will carry on with our little tour of Ladakh and Nepal eventually. And yeah, thank you very much for being a part of that flight and watching this video. Don't blame me if you skip through everything, because these videos are very long videos. I can turn off the pitot heads, can't I? But yeah, thank you so much for being a part of this flight. We'll taxi up anyway. We'll just pretend we didn't see that. Taxi into our parking spot, and then that will be us for this segment, and we'll carry on at a later date, okay? Carry on with our journey, I should say, through Ladakh, through the Himalayan north of India, into Pakistan, and we should not to Pakistan, to Nepal, but I was going to say we'll explore Pakistan as well. I'll do a few flights around that region. And we'll just turn off the taxi lights just so we're all set. Don't forget anything, and yeah, that's... Now we'll just clear this warning light here. Find a car park. We might try one of these Oh no, I think they're for... Those must be ATR ones, eh? I've got a funny feeling they are, so we'll go park up next to that spice jet there and spice things up a bit, and we will set up for the next flight. handbrake on, and that is us folks, well and truly. That can all come off, and we can disarm the exits, turn off these electrical pumps, which is what I think they do in real life. Strobe lights can come off, and I think that's us. Turn off the fuel pumps as well. Get it ready for our turnaround flight. Not that we're doing a turnaround flight, but we'll get it. Can turn off our parking brake now. I've got the chocks on, let our brakes cool down, and we will end our flight there, guys. We'll see you again with the continuation of our Lukla Airport Challenge, and then after that we will carry on with our little explore around the Ladakh region, Himalayan region, into Nepal, and then we'll probably do some more flights around India, and also we'll venture into Pakistan as well. And take care, folks. We'll see you again next time. See you later.